Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Bringing Division video. What if I guess today is another build video, and today I want to talk about something you guys should focus on in the next global event. Now first of all, if you have this build already, that is great, that is awesome to hear. You could probably use this video as a little reference and see what kind of changes you can make to your build and, just kind of compare, I guess you could say. But if you're new to the game, if you're coming back, this is definitely a build or gear set you should go for 100%. Now what I'm talking about is a Reclaimer gear set. In my opinion, this is a very underrated build in the game at the moment, not because no one uses it, but because no one really gives it enough credit of how good this build and this gear set actually is. If you're playing PvP, if you're playing PvE, if one person has this on your team, it makes things so much easier, it makes things so much faster to complete, especially like legendary missions or incursions. This thing is a lifesaver most of the time. As I said, if you guys would like to make this build but you're missing some gear pieces, if you get on this week, on Thursday, March 8th through the 12th, you can get on Play the Assault Global Event, and this gear set will be available to get. Anyways, if you guys do enjoy this video or find it helpful, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe for more videos, and let's get right into this. So the first thing I do want to go over with you guys are the abilities and what you should be using on this build. So the first thing we have is a Overdose. In my opinion, if you're playing solo and just matchmaking randoms, most of them will not have a vigorous chest piece because how popular classified builds are, and everyone's pretty much using 6 pieces. So for that reason, I would recommend using Overdose just so you can give them a overshield, and also gives you a lot of self-healing. The next thing I'm using is a support station, and this one does 26,600 healing per second, and I also get it back in 16 seconds, which is really good. As for the talents, I'm using Triage, Combat Medic, Critical Save, and Strike Back, and in my mind, that's pretty much the combination you want to use if you're making a healer build, if you're making a Tactician healer build, or a Reclaimer healer build. These are the talents I would recommend using. Anyways, as for the build, this is what I'm rocking with. So the first thing I do want to show you guys are the weapons and what you guys want to have on them whenever making this build. So my primary is the Lightweight M4, and what I have on it is Competent, Talented, and Determined. In my mind, this is the best combination you can have whenever making a electronics build. You get the weapon damage from Competent, you also get the skill power from Talented, and you also get the skill cooldowns with Determined, which is very, very nice. As for the weapon mods, I'm using all critical hit damage. If you're on PC, you can go into headshot damage, but I'm on consoles and my aim is not really the best, so I'm going into critical hit damage pretty much every time. As for the secondary, I'm using a Navy MP5N. For this, I would recommend using a sniper rifle. Unfortunately, the one I have isn't really that good. All the talents are pretty much locked, and it's not really good in general, but if you guys have a good marksman rifle, using something like that is the way to go. Anyway, moving on to the main part of the video, and that is the gear and what I have rolled on it. So for the chest piece, I'm using Electronics, Skill Haze, Health, and I'm also using ammo capacity. Honestly, ammo capacity isn't really necessary since you have the immune station, but if you have ammo capacity, it never really hurts. As for the mods, I'm using 2 electronics and skill power mods for the chest piece. Next up, for the mask, I went with electronics, skill power, increased kill XP, and I'm also using a electronics and skill haste mod on this mask. For the knee pads, I'm using electronics, skill power, blindside death resistance, shock resistance, and burn resistance. For the knee pads and also the mask, I'm missing damage to leads, which is kind of unfortunate. I wish I could get better pieces, but unfortunately I can't, and my luck hasn't been really that good. Hopefully on Thursday I'll grind a little bit and get better pieces. But for the mods, I'm also using another electronics and skill haste mod, and this time we have a 5% support station healing speed. For the backpack, I have electronics, skill power, burn resistance, and I'm also using electronics and skill haste mod with 2 support station range mods. For my gloves, I'm using firearms, skill haze, assault rifle damage, and critical hit damage. And the reason I do have firearms on them is because I do want a little bit more weapon damage. I already have 9k electronics, so my support station is already good. It does a lot of healing, but the problem is I don't really do damage, and I really want to help out my team as well with the damage, so I went into firearms. You can go into stamina if you want, if you feel like you're too squishy, but my personal opinion, I went into firearms just so I can do a bit more damage. Lastly, we have a Reclaimer holster, and I have skill haze on this. Pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. You want your station and your overdose as fast as possible, which is the reason I have skill haze on it. As for the mod, we're using another support station healing speed on this build. The final thing I do want to show you guys are the character stats. I know everyone's always curious about this. So for the weapon damage, I'm sitting at 15.5k, 9% critical hit chance, 100% critical hit damage, 86% headshot damage. Moving on, we're sitting at 214 max health, which is pretty low, but keep in mind my support station is pretty insane. It's going to give me a lot of healing back per second, so having this much health isn't really too big of an issue. And also I'm sitting at 33% skill haste. Now the reason my skill haste is this low and it's not a little bit higher is because whenever you sit in the support station, it gives you additional 15%, which is going to help you out to get your skills back and, you know, stuff like that. So that's why I'm sitting at 33%. It can be a little bit higher, but my gear is not optimized, which kind of sucks. Anyways, that is it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. I respond to all my comments. But once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.